6 p.m. in Tokomberi and same time right here in the economic capital city, Douala. Good evening, dear viewers of Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. First, our major stories. Politicians, artists, and civil society actors joined their voices to demand for justice for the all 50 women who confess of having been raped and molested by a certain Hervé. Despite the different complaints laid against the alleged serial rapist, they all expressed indignation over the fact that the suspect is yet to be issued an arrest warrant. And away from that, communities continue to get shattered and divided as a result of administrative interference and chieftaincy succession issues in Cameroon. Another boiling issue currently threatening the stability and tranquility of the people is that of the Forteta in the Menua division of the West region of Cameroon. According to the population, government interference in their chieftaincy succession affair is rather worsening the situation. You will get to the reactions of locals in this edition of the news. Those are major stories. Stay with us for details and more. Once more, good evening and thank you so much for choosing Equinoxe Television. Political figure Professor Maurice Kamto and artists in and out of Cameroon have condemned the silence of the government authorities on the affair of the alleged serial rapist in Cameroon. On their different social media platforms, they urge police and judicial authorities to shed more light on the affair and punish the perpetrators if found guilty. Innocent Aze report.
Of series of rape, Hervé Bobda has been at the center of public criticism and debate in and out of Cameroon for over a week now. Even opinion leaders are breaking the silence. The CRM is outraged by the silence of the country's police and judicial authorities. Indeed, this scandalous affair has plunged the population into a serious feeling of insecurity. Professor Maurice Kamto also invites the government to take appropriate measures to shed light on this matter. The CRM calls on the government to take the appropriate measures to get to the bottom of this issue in order to reassure the population and, if the facts are proven, to severely punish the perpetrators of such acts in accordance with the law. And if the government chooses to observe its usual silence or indifference, the country could run the risk of drifting into mob justice, which is never a good sign in a society governed by the rule of law. Cameroonian musical artists are not exempted. In a post on her Facebook page, Caress Fotso denounces the attitude of a man who acts with impunity and cruelty. The singer and songwriter calls for a general mobilization to demand justice for all victims. Also, Cameroonian singer Vanista was inspired to compose a song. Il faudra que la justice nous fasse la lumière dans cette affaire pour que tout soit clair et que les Camerounais aient la paix. Il faudra que la justice nous fasse la lumière. Another reaction is that of the Nigerian singer Arya Star. On her Twitter account, the Afro and R&B artist launched the hashtag #StopBobda.
And now we talk culture as natives and notables of Forteta, a locality in the Menua division of the West region for more than a year now, have been at loggerheads following the death of the traditional ruler, His Royal Majesty Juatsa Pierre II. A new chief was presented months ago by administration but was rejected by some notables. The people denounced the interference of the administration in their traditional affairs. They say the development of the village has greatly been jeopardized since the start of the succession crisis. A.C. Lucy Liengu tells us more.
Fort Sessa in the Menua division of the West region is at the verge of disintegration following what villagers qualify as administration interference in the chieftaincy succession process in the village. Months after the disappearance of His Majesty Juatsa Pierre, authorities designated 8-year-old Miguel Atemken on February 1st, 2023, who was rejected by the notables. I stood up like wind which blows off a ceiling. I said, no, this is not the person the chief told me. The involvement of the administration in the chieftaincy affairs has been shunned by the population as it is against their customs and traditions. The senior divisional officer asked us to return to Chang on the 3rd to see what can be done. He demanded that some documents be signed. We refused because of the ongoing tension, but he duped us. He considered the list of those who were present as an official statement. On the 22nd of April 2023, a new chief by name Atomfang Portu Daniel was picked by the notables and taken to their Lakam, a sacred place for traditional rites.
Le plus extraordinaire, ce jour très somptueux, donc qui fait la fierté et la joie du groupement Fotetsa. Donc la seule chose qui nous interpelle actuellement, c'est ce jour.
The natives of Fotetsa hope that the release of Paul Daniel Atomfang will not spark tension but bring peace and development to the village.
And we stay in the west region of Cameroon as an operation headed by the Divisional Delegate of Trade led to the seizure of expired goods worth 2 million francs CFA. This incident occurred in Bambutu's division of the west region of Cameroon. The Divisional Delegate calls on the population to be vigilant. More with Cedric Chakutio.
Expired and counterfeited goods of about 2 million francs were seized. This could be done thanks to the visit on commercial spaces carried out by the Bambuto's Divisional Delegate of Trade. These products, unfit for consumption, were completely destroyed at the municipal landfill in Bamendida in the presence of local authorities.
Le stock de produire détruit 7 jours.
The stock of goods seized are goods expired since July 2023.
Que la délégation départementale du commerce de Bambutos a saisi sur le terrain.
We seized them when they were still in circulation. Individuals were selling expired products to consumers.
Sur procès verbal et pour particulièrement les jus qui sont périmés sur le terrain et que il s'agit de plus de 2600.
We seized about 2,670 liters of juice and many other goods.
Que nous avions saisi et plusieurs autres produits impropres à la consommation, périmés dans les marchés.
After the destruction of these products, Kema Isia, Divisional Delegate of Bambutos, once again urged consumers to be more vigilant so as to preserve their health. Every individual should be vigilant on the kind of product he buys, and if you see one with an expired product, come and complain so that we stop this process. Local authorities call on the population to be vigilant and expose those who sell expired goods.
And from the West region, we now take you to the Southwest region where the Governor, Benau Kalabilai, has called on the new FACO Senior Divisional Officer, Viang Mekala, to watch out and guard against separatist activities, chieftaincy squabbles and land crisis in the division. He made a call while officially installing him into office. The ceremony took place at the Manga Williams Avenue in Limbe. Our Limbe-based correspondent Davison Maimu covered that event and now reports.
The instructions from the Southwest Regional Chief Administrator to the new Senior Divisional Officer for FACO are clear.
You must always take note that as Chief Administrative Officer for this division, the majority of the population are English-speaking. You shall therefore be expected to make a determined effort to interact and work with them in the language they understand best and in which they feel most comfortable.
Governor Bernard Okala-Bilai reminded him to guard against separatists and other forms of criminality.
We shall check against any possible infiltration of arms and ammunition by criminal gangs or secessionist armed groups.
As usual, the land and chieftaincy crisis could not be ruled out.
This is a summary of your division. FACO, where on a permanent basis, complaints concerning land and chieftaincy dispute continue to flood the administration and even the courts.
Limbe City Mayor Paul Efome Lisombengale called on the new senior divisional officer to stay focused and avoid detractors.
You should guide against being taken hostage by any individual or group of individuals to influence the course of things here, according to their whims and caprice. Remain unshakable. Remain devoted as you've always been.
Mr. Vyang Mekala, formerly senior divisional officer of Manyo in the Southwest region, takes over from Mr. Shaibu, who has been transferred in the same capacity in the Nyong and Kele division of the Center region. He is married and a father of 8.
Davison Maimua Lindbergh correspondent reporting there. And the upcoming report will tell you about the plight of inhabitants of several parts of the city of Douala, where the road network is in a very bad state. The city council is now striving to upgrade some roads, especially in the Douala 5 subdivision. Babila Jonathan tells us more.
Several roads in the Douala 5 subdivision are in a bad state. This one, linking Lendi and Logbesu, is one of the most difficult roads to go through, especially in the rainy season.
Elle est vraiment impraticable, quelle que soit la saison.
Donc quand tu ressors, tu dois d'abord passer chez le mécanicien.
And this section is not only difficult but also dangerous because of the deep man-made rift on both sides of the road.
Les gens ont creusé pour aller rembler le terrain.
The Douala City Mayor Roger Mbasandine is on the ground to evaluate the work to be done to improve on the state of the road.
The first challenge is to be able to build the road in this kind of places where, if you see where behind me, we see what challenge we have. It is enormous. But we are confident that the company that we have chosen will be able to do that, because it is not the first time that this company is working on this kind of project. We hope that in 2 years we are going to complete the works. The project is about 11 billion.
Several houses constructed close to the road will be destroyed along this road and other parts of the town where road construction works will soon begin.
If they are land titled, we are going to take some administrative measure to free the place.
He is also inspecting the construction of a relocation site for traders whose shops were demolished over 2 months ago at the Douala Central Market.
Those people are going to come here.
And my quest to know why the relocation site is being constructed months after the demolition exercise will have no response. Meantime, Mayor Roger Mbasandine says the market will be ready for the traders to begin doing business here, February 8, 2024.
And now out of our borders, Mali's military junta has put an end to a 2015 peace deal with the Tuareg rebels, which was aimed at easing tension against the central government. Meantime, the head of Guinea's ruling junta, Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya, has been elevated to the rank of general. Malaglary gives us latest updates of our international page.
At a time, Mali is yet to bury the victims of last week's accident at an artisanal gold mine in southwest Mali, which has risen to more than 70 deaths. The country's military junta has announced an end to the 2015 peace deal with Tuareg rebels in the country's north, a move that could further destabilize the Sahel nation. The peace agreement, which has only been partially implemented, was aimed at easing tension at a time when Tuaregs mounted jihadist violence against the central government since 2012. According to Colonel Abdoulaye Maiga, it is coming to an end because other signatories are not respecting their commitment, and also hostilities by chief mediator Algeria. And elsewhere, a new report published by Human Rights Watch condemns the killings of at least 60 civilians and several injured persons in 3 Burkina Faso military drone strikes targeting crowded markets and a funeral ground between August and November 2023. The organization urged the government to urgently and impartially investigate these war crimes, punish all those responsible, and provide adequate assistance to the victims and their families. And over to Guinea, the head of Guinea's ruling junta, Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya, has been elevated to the rank of general. The 43-year-old general had ruled the country since overthrowing the country's president, Alpha Condé, in September 2021.
And now we talk sports. Cameroon's senior men's football team head coach Rigobert Song says they are going in for a victory against Nigeria and there's no room for mistakes again. Rigobert Song made a declaration as he faced the press ahead of the knockout game against Nigeria at the Africa Cup of Nations. Smart Jikan Gabriel followed the pre-match press conference and equally got the reaction of a Nigerian journalist. His report.
You're welcome to the Cultural Center here in Treichville. We are in Abidjan, where the two coaches of the teams that will be facing off in the first knockout match of the AFCON came up with their pre-match press conferences. And you notice Rigobert Song, he told us that he's so confident, though he is aware that the two generations of players who played in 1984 when Cameroon won Nigeria at the finals are not the same players. He is having, as we speak, made mention of the fact that the players are very set for the competition and of course for the match against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And the Super Eagles of Nigeria, should be noted, during the group phase conceded just one goal and scored 3 goals, which made them one of the most defensive side of the first half of this competition. With me is Shima Brenda. Brenda is coming from AIT, is a journalist from Nigeria. Brenda, we are glad to have you on Equinoxe TV.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right. We have Super Eagles versus the Indomitable Lions. Who do you go for?
Of course, I'm a Nigerian and I'm patriotic, so it will be Nigeria all the way. And not because, first of all, not because I'm a Nigerian, but going on the statistics of this tournament, like you rightly pointed out in your introduction, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are one team that you should not underestimate. You should not wipe under the carpet. Looking at what they've done, they've been the most defensive side in this tournament. Considered just 1, scored 3, qualified with 7 points. And the Indomitable Lions, on the other hand, not to write them down, but it's a no match when it comes to statistics in this tournament. So you rightly say the favors or the odds are in the side of the Super Eagles to get this one, the best out of this knockout stage.
Now, when you hear the likes of maybe one of our most venerated striker, Vincent Abubakar, who might be back, and of course another good flank player, Jay Clinton, who might be back, they have been injured throughout the competition. Does that not give a fright to you like a Nigerian and maybe a journalist too?
Before I begin to think of being scared of that, I should have looked at my defense line. And I'm going back to it again. I said, it is the team that has considered the least goal in this tournament, if not the only team to have considered the least goal, aside from Senegal, defending champions. So Vincent Abubakar coming to the squad, it's no scare. If you talk about Nigeria parading the best strikers in the world, the best African player of the year is in Nigeria's squad. So that's not a match for Vincent Abubakar. I respect him. I love his style of play. When Cameroon was in the World Cup, I was rooting for him because Nigeria wasn't there. But again, it is not the one-man thing. It's a teamwork. So he cannot be a forest all by himself. A tree doesn't make a forest. So him coming back to the squad is just an additional advantage for the Cameroonians so that they don't concede so much. If they should concede from Nigeria, if Nigeria should get the best of them, Vincent Abubakar could help them maybe retaliate or get back a goal at least. So for me, it's not going to be, it's not a thing of scare. And I know that the Super Eagles understand that there's nothing to be worried about going into this encounter. Vincent Abubakar coming into the squad is not any cause for alarm.
Thank you very much, Shima Brenda. We are grateful and we wish you best of luck on Saturday. You'll notice that the match will be played on the same pitch that the Indomitable Lions won their first trophy in terms of the African Nations Cup. It will be in Abidjan. Though the field has been renovated, it is a pitch that gave luck to the generation of 1984. Reporting at the Cultural Center here at Treichville for Equinoxe Television News on special assignment, Carlos Minue, Smart Jikan Gabriel.
Thanks a bunch, sportsman Smart Jikan Gabriel. Still in sports, Super Eagles striker Simon Moses, who accompanied his coach Jose Pizarro to the pre-match press conference, says they are combat ready for their confrontation against Cameroon. Let's take a listen to this excerpt selected by sportsman Smart Jikan Gabriel.
Actually, no, we don't have any pressure. I think we feel really good. We take every game step by step. The way we take others is the same way we will take Cameroon. 2019 we'll play against them. They are strong. We know about them. They are a good team. And actually, I believe now they are better than Demi-19. So we just, and I believe my team also, we are better than 2019. So we'll see after the game. Most of us here, we don't read mostly history. We just want to play and we just want to win.
Super Eagles striker Simon Moses speaking during the pre-match press conference there in Cote d'Ivoire. And that's what put an end to today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for your keen attention. Stay in the company of more interesting programs on ETV. Have a wonderful evening.